Hey, beautiful people. Hope you all are doing very well today. Welcome back to the Young and Independent Show, where we discuss a variety of topics to help young folks live lives that are spiritually fulfilled, lives that are value added, lives that are less materialistic, and lives that are financially independent. I'm your host, Sil, and this morning I wanted us to talk about priorities, prioritizing. There's this, issue about prioritizing in Africa, which really bothers me, and I wanted us to talk about it this morning. I know that you can look at prioritizing from different angles, but today I'd like to look at it from a cultural point of view. Generally, when people talk about setting priorities, it's about targets and about economic value, But today, I really wanted us to look deep into the cultural impact of what prioritizing really looks like in our culture back home in Africa. There's a saying that if you set the right priorities, your life will change. And when someone says to you that your life will change, they don't necessarily mean that it will change for the best. That's how I look at it. Thanks to my MBA, I have learned to look at things in a very critical manner. So I tend to look at things from both sides of the coin. And I try to be as objective as possible. And therefore, if someone says to me that the right priorities will change your life, I always look at it with a critical mind. And it's with that critical mind that I decided to make this podcast today. For me, or the Oxford Dictionary definition of priority is a thing that is regarded as more important than another. And for me, my priorities are in this order: God, physical health, immediate family, because I've got kids and a partner, my financial comfort and my livelihood, my mom, siblings, and relatives and friends, in that order. I wasn't always here in this place where I've put my relationship with God first, and then my physical health second, and then my family third. I hear people say all the time that, I'll put myself. I even learned back in, boarding school, because I went to a Catholic boarding school. And there we were taught, I was a member of the Cadet of Mary, and the mantra is serve others and self last. So put others first and put yourself last. It sounds very amazing, it's an amazing mantra. But there's a problem with that mantra, and I'll explain. So before I decided to reverse, so if you take this my priorities list, if you were just keen to writing it down and you just turn the paper upside down, that's what my priorities were previously. But I have turned the paper upside down and changed my priorities because I've decided that I have to focus on the things that matter most and that are most important. So imagine a situation where you have a poultry farm and you're putting so much pressure on the farm the chicken that lays the golden egg, or the goose that lays the golden egg. What's going to happen to that goose if the goose is under so much pressure? Imagine for 1 second. What's going to happen? That goose is either going to fall sick and reduce productivity, or the goose is going to die. No two things. When there's so much pressure on something that is physical, it will either break down or it will die. What if your goose dies? What's going to happen to your golden egg? It's gone. This is what Africa misses. This is the trick that most developing countries are missing. Because poverty is so prevalent, people have completely given or turned a blind eye to this aspect. Now, growing up, I realized that there was a lot of pressure on the people who were well-to-do, as in financially well off. In particular, my father. My father worked very, very hard, and he became someone. Generally, it is common notion that if you have a little bit of cash or some cash in Africa, everyone looks up to you. You become a hero overnight. Superman, tada, it's you. It's all about you. You're worshipped. You're expected to do everything for everyone. And this continuous pressure puts you under or puts you in a position where you completely miss out on the things that are supposed to be important to you and your well-being. When I say you, I'm talking about the individual. I'm not even talking about children. I'm not talking about husband or wife. I'm talking about your personal self. I have been a victim of this toxic mindset, and it led me to mental strain, depression, ailment. I suffer from chronic migraines because of the choices, the priorities that I had in the past. In the past, my priorities were my siblings. Oh, I need to work hard. I need to have a job. I need to have a side gig. I need to have another side gig, network marketing. I was constantly working. Not because the money that I was making wasn't enough to look after me and my immediate responsibility, but because I had to extend a hand to everyone else. What this tends to do, I'm not going to sugarcoat anything here. I'm just going to say it exactly as it is because it is the truth. People will come after me for saying it, but it is the truth. People in Africa become lazy by laying all the responsibilities, pushing everything to that one person who has managed to get a good job, who has managed to swim out of that poverty cycle to the shore. They just throw everything at them, and this single person is carrying it while the rest of the family and the people that you are literally catering for their livelihood, they are just relaxed. They are relaxed. It's not like you've got 2 hands, you've got 10 hands, 2 heads, 4 eyes, 10 ears, whatever. But people just expect you to work magic. And let me first talk about my father. When I was thinking about making this podcast, I became a bit sad. I became a bit teary because when I look back, when I think about my dad, I don't have too many playful memories of my father and myself, or with my siblings, because my father was always working. If he wasn't working, and at the weekend when he managed to be home, he was either making one business call or the other, or talking to a fleet of village elders, people from the neighborhood, his own siblings, everyone, his my stepmom's relatives, my mom's own relatives, everyone brought their problems to my dad. Imagine that you were in my father's shoes. How much pressure that would be. And despite being successful and I've always said I will refer to my dad as the Poultry of our family, because he was the sole provider. I watched my father give pocket allowance to his siblings who were 30 years and above. Some were even 40. My father gave them pocket money. Why? People who have 2 hands, who can work, who are healthy. Why would anyone decide to put so much pressure on a single human being? The African culture. And if you don't do it, you will be faced, or you will be attacked, you will be ridiculed, you will be called names, You will be called, you'll face all sorts of horrible things. Sometimes physical attacks. People will try to hurt you, calling you stingy and all these things. The entitlement mentality is just mind-numbing. My father died on his way to work when the weather was terrible. He had no obligation to have gotten into his car under such torrential rains to go to work. There wasn't any emergency. My father he owned a company. He was the owner, the CEO, owner, and everything. He could have just waited out for the weather to, get better. But he got into his car and he was heading to work. Now his company was into public lighting, an electrical company. Who does public lighting in torrential rains? No one, because you're going to get electrocuted. My father was in a hurry to go to work because he felt, I would imagine, guilty of being at home. Because he felt he needed to be out there working. He needed to give himself, he needed to feel important by going out to, or look amazing by going out to work, so that he can have enough money to look after everyone else. My father did not think about himself. He was hypertensive. He wasn't all that healthy. But he put himself under that pressure. No one cared. All they needed was the money that he was able to give them, the comfort that he was able to provide. No one really said to him, you know what, Mr. T, take a break, take a breather, relax. And guess what? In hindsight, I think that my father's life was aborted because of this toxic culture in Africa, where you're expected to be a hero for everyone while they all relax. Yeah, I've said it. It is because of this toxic culture that my father was forced into an early grave. If he wasn't driving in such bad conditions, that truck that crushed his car would never have done it. My father would never have found himself there. Some would say to me that, it was going to happen anyway. There's something called untimely death. Yes, I believe in it. I don't know about you, but I do believe in it. If you jump into the road right now, you jump in front of a train, it's going to run over you and you're going to die. You jumped in front of a train. I don't know how, anyone can explain to me that you were meant to die that way. I don't know how anyone can explain to me. My father literally jumped in front of a train. If you go out driving in the night with no traffic lights, you will get into a car crash, most likely than not. And you're going to maybe die. And people are going to say, you were supposed to die? You were going to die? Yes, we're all going to die, but people actually die untimely deaths. And this culture in Africa is pushing people to early graves. Too much expectations for one person, and that person ends up prioritizing, putting others and their needs first and themselves last. Okay, fast forward, my father died. Golden Goose gone, and the family is in shambles. Kids dropping out of school, relatives' kids who were being sponsored dropping out of school, company collapsing, everything just going down with him. We have to be more long-sighted in Africa. We have to take care of our golden gooses, I remember when I was, after my father died, I took up, I literally put my foot in my dad's shoes. Unbeknownst to me, I didn't even realize that that's what had happened until when I became sick, I became depressed because I was working so hard. My goodness. I was working so hard, barely sleeping. I developed these excruciating migraine pains. And I got a wake-up call in the hospital when the doctor said to me, if you don't prioritize your health, you will lose your life. I was under 30 people when the doctor said this to me. It was a wake-up slap. Even though I did not cut off from carrying on everyone's burden on my shoulders and trying to be the heroine, I decided that I was going to shed off that responsibility slowly. And I got to a point when I realized that people are going to be just fine with or without me. Their lives will go on. I decided to cut off. And I cut off, the way you take a scissors to cut a string. I took the scissors and I just cut the string. And boy, oh boy, my life has been phenomenal. It's been wonderful. I'm still dealing with the migraines, but I am at a much better place. I'm not where I used to be. I am definitely not where I used to be. And that's what I really wanted to talk about today. What are your priorities? What do you prioritize? Is your priority to look after a sick member of your family? To the point where you don't even take breaks? You can't sleep? Is your priority to work 3, 4, 5 jobs because you want to send money back home if you're abroad, or because you want to pay for everyone's needs while depriving yourself of sleep, while depriving yourself of medical checks, while depriving yourself of healthy meals? Is that your priority? Or is your priority sharing everything that you have so that people can give you titles? Not sharing. Sharing is fantastic. Giving away everything that you have, not saving for your children, not saving for your retirement, just working, robbing Peter and paying Paul because you want to be respected. You want people to clap for you. You want people to unroll the red carpet for you. But tomorrow, when you lose your job, these same people start to mock you. They mock your children. Tomorrow, when you retire broke, these same people will look down on you and say, look at that one. You thought you had arrived. There you are now. You don't have anything, and they won't do nothing for you. What is your priority? What is your priority? I'm going to end today's podcast by telling you that you, capital Y-O-U, are your priority, your top priority. Top in capital letters. That's how much emphasis I'm laying on this topic. You are your top priority. I have been a victim. My father has been a victim. The people, someone I really do love, I care so much about, is being a victim. But you are your top priority. Whatever you do, and irrespective of the choices you make sure that you come first, that your relationship with God and that your health, those two things, top priority. If you don't prioritize taking care of your needs, the things that make you happy, that keep you sane, I'm telling you, I've been so stressed that my kids were banging their heads against the wall because of a mother who was always worried about everything, everyone's problems but mine. I didn't pay attention to my children. What are your priorities? If you don't prioritize yourself, you can't give what you don't have. If you're sick because you're always running around solving everyone else's problem, you're sick. Their lives will go on. What about your life? No one else will look after your spiritual well-being. Not your pastor, not your priest, not even the Pope. No one will look after your physical health. What you eat. Oh, I don't have time to do exercise. Okay, wait until you break down. Wait until you get a health scare. Then you will realize that your physical health is your top priority. Wait until you're lying on the bed at below 30 and the doctor says to you, if you don't stop this, you will lose your life. Wait until you get to that stage. Some of you will have sudden death without even getting that wake-up call. Others will. But you must not receive that call. You can reverse everything now. You can change your life. You can actually start making yourself your top priority. I guarantee you, take it from me for free, everyone else will be okay. They give you the impression that they're going to die without you. But I promise you that since I cut off from this immense amount of responsibility that I was carrying for nothing, everyone is doing so well and so fine. And I am even better. I am terrific. As a matter of fact, I am terrific. So, hey, they're never going to come and say to you, oh no, Bernard, slow down. They're never. You know why? Because you're doing things to them. You're doing things for them. You're paying their bills. You're doing all the things that they wouldn't dare to do. They will never tell you to slow down. The question is, do they even care about you and do they even love you? Do they? No one is going to come and look after your own financial freedom. If every month you get all of your salary, you send 10,000 to Bamenda, 50,000 to Boya, 100,000 to, or let me talk in dollar terms, $100 to, you share all of the money. So you get $1,000 and you share all of the money to solve everyone's problem. You save nothing. How are you going to gain financial freedom? My friend, retirement is waiting for you. A health accident or a health condition is waiting for you. It's not my wish, but it may happen. The probability that will happen is very high. Even your emotional well-being. Imagine being so stressed and breaking down mentally because you want to look after everyone else. Why not just look after yourself for once? So think twice and think very hard before you prioritize an early grave. Before you prioritize to an early grave. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I'm going to stop right there. It's been very emotional because the whole time I've been thinking about my dad. I miss him. I wish he were here. And I just wanted to put this out there so that it can help someone. If you know someone, a friend of yours, a relative of yours that you truly care about, that who is not killing themselves slowly to look after other people and other people's priorities, please send them this podcast so they can listen to it. You might save a life. You may save lives. Let's share, guys. And until next time, do take care. Bye.